Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Gray Zone, the Dark Truth. So much has happened in the last several months, in the last several weeks, and I'm sure you're confused, as I am, as many are. Unlike people like myself, we understand what's taking place in this world and what is happening around the world. The war with Iran, the riots, the economic situations, the natural disasters that are taking place all around our world. It's hard to say where we're going to go from here. We can only surmise, but the changes are true. It's not conspiracy theory. These things are happening. And I feel sorry for those who are still living in the dark, that refuse to understand what is really taking place here. And there are things that are happening that are just heinous. They're being exposed. Stuff that we never thought could be feasible that are taking place in this country. But I'm going to try to share some of it with you in many ways, in the best way I can. As always, here at the Gray Zone, because it's a sick world we live in. It really is a sick world, and Mother Earth is tired of our nonsense, and Mother Gaia is not happy, and the things that are happening are not pleasant, and affects not only us as adults, but also affects our children. You know, most recently we had Artemis 2 go up. That was a lie. They released those astronauts in what seemed like a little cart. Those videos are being released left and right about what happened as the rocket was being lifted off. If you're more interested in that story, look it up. The word NASA in Hebrew equals a lie. The meaning of the word NASA in Hebrew is called a lie. That's all they do. They're lying to us about the sky. They lie to us about the firmament. They lie to us about these rockets going up. When in fact, when they go up, they turn and they don't ever go in or through the firmament, which is mentioned in the Bible 11 times. They mention the firmament 11 times in the Bible. But people are still in the dark. They want to live in the dark. You know, Trump may replace the Federal Reserve. That story will be out in the media. And the central banking system is going to change. Due to my last video, the Nasara Jasara, sorry. They are manipulating the financial markets. Silver is at an all-time high. And the central banking system in general is going to change. So be prepared for that also. Okay? I'm having a hard time to figure out what story to start with, because there's a lot of crazy stuff going on, you know, that has been released to the public. For instance, they're saying that many stores are boarding up the front of their stores because they're expecting some form of political upheaval, riots, if you will. They're not saying why the riots will take place. They're just saying that there might be. There are rumors that Trump will be gone after November. We don't know. In December, they're saying that that's when they're planning on releasing the drafts. So if you have children, hold them close, love them as best as you can. They may be forced to fight a war that they didn't ask for, nor did they volunteer for. This might be a forced situation. It hasn't been confirmed that they're going to force everybody into the draft, but there's so many mentions of it now that it's hard to not think this is the direction they're going. Trump 2.0 has changed the spectrum of politics completely, and he's gone in a different direction. This Iran situation, though, is very serious, and a lot of innocent people are dying in Iran. There's even talks. Again, it's just rumors, because everything you can't that you anything the politics tells you and the news tells you, the regular news media, you have to take with a grain of salt, because these people are just, that's all they do is lie. NASA. You know why? Because to them, we are the goyim. We are the goyim. We don't matter. Okay, so, but I'm going to start with those of you who experience COVID-19. The COVID-19 scared a lot of people. And I've always told my family members and friends and people that I've spoken to that it wasn't the COVID-19 we should have been scared of, and that the United States was suffering from. I've always felt it was mental illness. The mental illness level has built up in the United States to a level where people are sick. Let's put it this way. Psychiatrists are making a lot of money right now. The drug industries are making a lot of money right now because you're sick. We're sick. The world is sick, emotionally and mentally ill. We're suffering from schizophrenia, from paranoia, and a whole slew of other items, a slew of other things that people just don't want to address anymore. And then many people just want to leave their family members like that because they just don't want to deal with it. You know, creating a selfish atmosphere of that while their family members suffer from mental illness, because a lot of people couldn't deal with this shock of this COVID when they shut our streets down and made us wear masks and made children wear masks behind glass screens in classes, making our children emotionally scared along with our families being scared to death. For instance, a study was done by Dr. Peter McCullough, and the study came out of Sweden. The DNA of the vaccinated individual is different from those who are vaccinated. Let me repeat that. The DNA of the vaccinated is different from those who are vaccinated. Those who aren't vaccinated are different from those who are vaccinated. It's reverse transcript DNA into the human genome. When they did this study and they put the medicine that they were trying to put in our bodies, especially Visa, under a microscope, they said they saw what appeared to be the chemicals, and the disease was turning into some form of a microchip, microboard, you know, that you would take out of your motherboard of your computer. So that's pretty odd. And they were trying to put that in our systems. For those of you who are vaccinated, I'll pray for you, because they're planning on doing something very heinous to all of those who are vaccinated. You are a subject. You are a victim. And you now probably belong to the U.S. government. The Supreme Court has ruled that all vaccinated now are products and patented goods according to U.S. law. Means you belong to them, folks. You belong to them. Strange, and it's crazy. They no longer qualify as human beings. Those vaccinated no longer qualify as human beings. Really think about that. If you are vaccinated, you are no longer a human being. You are a patent product and a goods according to U.S. law. And you cannot be categorized as a human being. Because in essence, that means that those who have been vaccinated are no longer subject to national or international law. It's insane. Since 2013, all people vaccinated with genetically modified mRNAs are legally known as transhuman. Look, anyone could look this up. This is not conspiracy theories. This is not all that nonsense you heard in the early stages of Google and all this crap. All this stuff is really taking place. So if you want to live under a rock, enjoy yourself. You're going to have to be stuck under there, because when this starts, you're going to be lost. And it's not going to be safe. That means all people vaccinated since 2002 with genetically modified mRNAs are legally transhuman, legally identified as transhuman. You are legally, under US law, considered a transhuman. You can no longer enjoy any human rights of a state, which applies worldwide because the Gen Point technology patents are under US jurisdiction law where they are registered. This is basically another way, folks, of them dividing us from each other, from the ones who were vaxxed, from the ones who weren't vaxxed. Because if you remember, people were coming at each other pretty aggressive. If you didn't get vaccinated, they automatically looked at you as a monster. If you didn't wear a mask, they mistreated you in the street. And the people who got too caught up with these, listening to these medical mafias, they listened to everything that were told on TV, from CNN to MSNBC to Fox News. It's a lie. The entire thing is a freaking lie. But people believe everything they see on the regular news, when in fact those who are risking their lives reporting independent individual news are looked at as conspiracy theorists. It's pathetic. That's why so much of this population is in danger, because people want to believe what they see on these news channels instead of looking it up themselves, instead of studying the stuff. Okay? So you are transhuman if you are vaccinated. You got to ask yourself, if you are vaccinated, what was I thinking? I lost my job at a school, and I was the floor manager because I chose not to. I chose, and I lost a good job because of this damn government's nonsense and the lies that they spewed. It gets close, it gets deeper and darker, folks. Every single day we go closer and closer towards a new world order. And many of you need to wake up and realize that you're not being told the truth. It doesn't matter if you're Democrat, Republican, conservative, or a liberal, you are going to suffer in some form. If you have a job, you may lose your job. If you have a bank account, your bank account may be shut down. If you have children, hold them, grasp them, because once these things are in place, your apartment, your home, your car, and your children do no longer belong to you. They no longer belong to you. They belong under the New World Order rules, which is attached to the United Nations. Let me go further. There's so much to cover today. There's a lot of crazy shit going on. Let me quote somebody, though, before I continue to this next part. Rabbi Finkelstein. For those of you who are on Facebook or on YouTube, I'm sure you've heard of Rabbi Finkelstein. I believe he has a church in New York City and Manhattan. And in his words, I put a short amount, we do a great brainwashing. We've been doing it over for centuries. We drain the blood of your children. We ground the bodies and put them through the machines. You eat them for lunch, for breakfast. We make sausages. We make hot dogs. We make burgers out of you goyams. That was his words. Those are his words. These Zionists. Watch out for them. All right? Let's watch out for them. Okay? Because Rabbi Finkelstein, he said it openly. He didn't lie about it. He was open and honest about it. That they're taking people and grinding them up into bits and pieces, along with your children. All right? For instance, one study tested so-called beef, 1,300 strands of human DNA in one patty. They tested one patty, and it had 1,300 strands of DNA. They say there's more human meat than there is cow meat. The meat you're eating is not safe. The beef is not safe. A good portion of the beef that you buy at the supermarkets is human meat. You're a cannibal and didn't even know it. You're a cannibal and you didn't even understand that you were a cannibal. More humans than cows are being made into beef. And they euthanize animals to do the same thing, and they grind them too. Human meat processing plants do exist. But and we process your bodies, we eat your children, they eat them in the day and the night. And we do it willingly, without understanding what is really going on. The FBI uncovered human remains at a particular McDonald's supplier. Dark truth. And it's the truth. The truth is the truth is the truth. You want to lie and hide yourself from the truth? Have fun. You will fail. You will not be informed when these things take place. And you won't understand what's taking place when you see it out in your streets and in the news. Now, they're doing a lot of things. Let me give you a quick story to give you an idea of what Mr. Finkelstein also was talking about. In 1982, a man by the name of Melvin Weisberg, a Jew, in Los Angeles, made a crazy, sick discovery. He was a pathologist, sorry. And he did a lot of lab tests on people's bodies and skins and things like that. He ran laboratories all throughout Santa Monica. So he was well known to his peers in the science world. And in his backyard, he was paying for a shipping cart, one of those really long ones. He was paying for it. He was paying for the shipping container that he had in his backyard. It was huge. He was paying every month, kept it in his backyard, but he missed a payment. He missed a payment. He actually missed 2 payments because his check didn't clear. They took the big container back, and when they took it back at what is known as a junkyard, some form of junkyard where they put all these other crates at. What other crates, they opened it, what they found was, this is pretty dark, over 17,000 dead babies inside. Gloss over that for a moment. 17,000 dead babies. Okay? This is the darkness that's happening in our world. The dark truth. The guys, when they found this, they were throwing up. Men got sick at the very sight of what was taking place. It was disgusting. There were bodies and corpses of babies all chopped up. Their heads were missing, torn limbs. They refused to give them burials because then questions would arise. Very sick, man. Very sick. You know, there would be so many questions if they had buried these babies individually, but now the souls of those children will suffer. And there's a place in hell for aborted babies. There is. If you don't think there is, do your research. You think you understand what's going on? You don't. Because there was a time I didn't understand. Let me take you back in time. There was a book that was released called The Edible People. The Edible People. And get this one, which is really racist, The Delectable Negro. That book was written by Vincent Woodward. Vincent Woodward wrote this book about human consumption and homoeroticism within U.S. slave culture. They had recipes in those days on how to cook black people. Pretty disgusting, right? How to cook them if they were insubordinate. The same thing is happening today, but now they don't segregate what color you are. They'll just eat you, grind you up, and you end up in some factory, and before you know it, you're in some restaurant. Why? Remember, that's what Finkelstein said. Let me give you more of the psychoticness that's taking place in our world. 345 hot dogs and sausages from 75 brands, retailers found 2% human DNA in the samples. 2% human DNA. Okay? Means we've been eating people without realizing it and following a satanic cult, which pulls us away from Jesus, which pulls us away from righteousness. In 2016, 2% of the burger meat you eat in McDonald's was human DNA. McDonald's doesn't have meat factories. Not one fast food restaurant in the U.S. owns or operates their own beef farms. So where in God's green earth are they getting all the beef? Where? Where are they getting all the beef from to feed everybody? Because if we're running short on food and all this stuff, that means we're eating our neighbors, our sons, our daughters, our nephews, our nieces, our grandmamas, our grandpas. We've been eating them. And we've been destroying the evidence in our stomach. We don't matter. Okay? According to Finkelstein. But let's move forward more on some more sick shit that's taking place in this world. Okay? Now, McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, another restaurant called In-N-Out. 40% of the population eats beef. Not one owns or even operates their own beef farms. None of these restaurants do. But instead, they run and operate 144 sick and ill children's centers. Coincidence? They run children's centers. Traces of human and rat DNA have been found in some of the burgers' meat suppliers. Rats, humans, horses, grocery stores, restaurants, the mom and pop diners. Because there's not enough cows to feed everyone in America. There just isn't. McDonald's alone slings 6.5 million burgers every day. 105 million a month. Imagine how much human consumption is being taken in. We've only have 9 million cattle, according to the studies in the United States. We only have 9 million of them. And only 30 million get turned into beef and steaks. That means the other half are me and you. For instance, here's another sick story. The McRib, ground pork shoulders and trimming mashed together into a fake bone shape. It's fake. It's the same type of crap that they make yoga mats and shoe soles from. It's not healthy to eat that stuff. That's why the McRib only shows up at a certain time. They release it, and then they pull it out of the restaurants. They release it, then they pull it out of the restaurants. McDonald's has done that dozens of times. I believe it's laced with azote carbonamide, it's known as. But this is all conspiracy theory. Oh, by the way, before I continue, this is all for entertainment purposes only. Right. All for entertainment purposes only. I'm not, I'm not implying anything. But people need to wake the fuck up. Okay? We really do. Because if this is what's taking place in our world, not if, it is. When monsters like this kill 17,000 babies and keep them in a container so he could do studies on them. We have a sick world. It's very sick. And it's a shame that it's gotten this bad. This Iran situation also is escalating to a point where now they can't afford to stop. They can't. They can't afford to stop this war now. But let me not go to that part yet. Let me come back to you. Chicken McNuggets. All your kids love the Chicken McNuggets, don't they? Of course they do. But only 60% of it is actual chicken. 60%. The rest is fat, skin, connective tissues, and tiny bone shards. Basically, chicken scraps nobody wants. And they make Chicken McNuggets out of them. But you're eating it. You go to McDonald's, you go to a Big Mac, you go to Wendy's, you go to Burger King to go to that Whopper. And you eat it with glee. You're eating a Susie or a Carol or a Frank or a Michael for all you know. And you don't even know it. You don't even know it. Why? Because you're Goyim. We feed it to your children's in the morning, and the lunch, and the breakfast, and the dinners, and you willingly eat them. You eat your children. And I quote from Mr. Rabbi Finkelstein. You know, folks, it's gotten to a point where nothing seems to make sense anymore. In Canada, they're proposing that they spread chemtrails in the sky in Canada so that they can go ahead and mix it with the vaccines to force the vaccine on people. If you look at your skies the last couple of days, especially here in Queens, New York, they've been spreading the chemtrails heavy. And let me remind you, it has barium and ammonium. They want you to breathe this stuff in. It has little tiny square specks of metal in it. They want your body to be filled with this stuff. So when they raise the frequencies, they can control you along with the vaccinated so that you can be controlled. Welcome to the New World Order. If you still don't believe, you're lost. If you still don't believe that these things are taking place, then maybe you deserve what you got coming. Because we need to wake up and realize that things are not what they told us in the Bible either. Things are not how they are perceived. The Bible also, along with these churches, have lied to us for centuries, along with the Roman Catholic Church. Oh, people, these are troubling times, and we need to awaken. They're afraid of us, not vice versa. It shouldn't be that way. Jesus said, I will return. I will not tell you what day or hour, but I shall return. You will not know what hour or day, but fear not. Let not your heart be filled with sorrow. So these animals we shouldn't be afraid of them. In no way or form, because they're a bunch of nobodies who sit behind a desk, a bunch of cowards that sent their thugs to do all their dirty work for them while millions of innocent people die. This war in Iran is escalating to a level that now they're talking about shooting nukes. Nukes. Okay, and the other countries are amping up, aiming their nukes at us right now. You think not? Look up the news. Keep your head in sand. Keep your head in the sand. Don't believe in anything. Oh, Trump is this, Trump is that. No. Now you can willingly say it. Both parties are no fucking good. Both parties. Because first Trump said he wasn't going to attack Iran, and he wasn't going to do this, he wasn't going to do that. Now he's doing all this, and now even the elitists are pretending that they're against him when they're not really against him. Cuba has no lights. They're shut down. Cuba's country is falling apart completely. They're running out of oil completely. There's no electricity. It might be now, but I doubt it. Venezuela is still suffering after the attack that was done, after Maduro was removed. Iran is all on fire. And the people have taken arms. But thousands have taken to getting ready to the U.S. troops that they're saying they're planning to put boots on the ground. This isn't good. In December, they're stating that that's when the draft might appear. The draft. That means if you have teenagers in your home, they're going to war. And this time, it's not like in the 50s. Women get to go too. You wanted civil rights, women? You wanted to be part of something? Well, welcome to the New World Order. Because now women will go to war too. You will be drafted. You will be trained. You will be trained to go to war. Your children will be. Because we got too caught up in the politics of all this nonsense. Trump is this, Biden was that, and hell, Biden's been dead for a long time. The doppelganger took over. Hillary was already assassinated a long time ago, and she was hung by a military tribunal. Bill Clinton was already shot in the head standing against a wall because of all his sexual crimes and all the other crimes he committed. They're stating that Obama and Michael, his man-wife, have also been arrested. But you think they're going to really show it on national TV? No. They're not going to tell you the truth. Okay? They're not going to tell you the truth of what the United States plans on doing. And also, remember my last video. We are not a country. We are a company. America, Inc. Since 1817. Or 1871. My mistake. Okay? A lot has changed. And the United States isn't what everybody thinks it is. The ignorance in this country has gotten so far because people think one way, because they refuse to do historical history, real historical history. They say Columbus discovered America. No, he didn't. They say that Benjamin Franklin in his basement, they found bones. Lots and lots of bones in his basement. That man has skeletons in his closet too. So all our forefathers did. So we keep following a routine because they lead us there and we're willingly follow like we're like good little sheep. Like a bunch of morons. Because we believe everything CNN and MSNBC and Fox News tells us. We read our Bibles. We go to church thinking that, oh, the Lord Almighty, that we're following the God in the King James Version, which is not the one we should be following. Jesus told his disciples, the God you follow is not my God. And that even the disciples questioned him, well, what are you talking about? We follow the same God. He told them, no, you follow a different God. Everything that is happening has been one lie after the next. One lie after the next. The Roman Catholic Church murdered Jesus because Jesus' goal down here was to educate us on what's really happening in the world, in the universe. That we are beings of a greater nature. That we have power in us, a spiritual power in us, that our alien overlords don't want us to understand, not in this government or the Illuminatis. We have a greater power and essence in us. There is a great awakening already taking place, a spiritual awakening. You don't need to go to church to understand this. Get on your hands and knees and pray. Whether you go to a church, you don't need to go to a church, go in a closet. Hide yourself in your yard. Go in a room and just get on your knees and humble yourself. Because soon, you're going to see riots. You're going to see more upheaval. They're going to represent... actually, there was a video that was released too, before I end this video soon. There was a video, an image of, because they're already using Project Bluebeam, of a hologram image of Jesus Christ, a huge one. And people were standing in awe, because that's their next mission, the Project Bluebeam. They're going to show us holograms of Jesus, holograms of Muhammad, holograms of Buddha, holograms of every religious power in each different country to make us believe, oh, the Messiah is here. The Muhammad is here. He's not. He is a product of the New World Order. And AI will play a major role in them leading us into a New World Order, which lasts 42 months on the Revelations. On the Revelations, once the Antichrist is entered, and he has stepped foot in Jerusalem on that throne, which hasn't been finished, by the way, and Israel is burning. Don't be fooled by the media. Iran has been hitting them super hard with many missiles. And our gasolines are being destroyed. The one in Qatar is burning. Their oil refinery. The one in Iran is burning. The one in Texas not too long ago was burning. And in several states. In many countries, oils are burning. And now gasoline in many parts of different states are up to $6 a gallon. Keep fooling yourself. Keep thinking it's funny. Keep thinking that all this that is taking place is a joke. That's what they want you to do. The elitist Illuminati don't give a damn about you and your children. The Democrats, the Republicans, the conservatives, and the damn these liberals are stupid. You're giving them exactly what they want. And they want these riots. Because first we're heading into a revolution. Then a civil war will take place in this country. And the other countries are going to let us kill each other. And soon after, Project Bluebeam will be taking place. After that, that's when the fake Muhammad will show up and they make everybody bow down, combining Christianity and Islam together, known as Chrislam. The Muslims don't want it, and the Christians are not going to want it. They're not going to want it. Once the Antichrist steps in, that's it. It is end game. You will be forced microchip. You will be taken to the one that Trump says these FEMA camps are made for the immigrants. No longer. They won't be made for the immigrants. They're made for me and you, along with the immigrants. Once you are placed in there, and it's said in the Bible, and I saw many were beheaded for my namesake. That's the guillotines that they bought during 2001 on 9/11, and thousands were bought because they were preparing for that timeline to cut the heads off of those who wouldn't be microchipped. And I saw both rich and poor, great and small, receive a mark on their right hand. He who does not have the mark shall not be able to buy nor sell. Let him who have understanding reckon the number of the beast. And it is a human number, 666. So keep pretending. Keep laughing at the information that you see. And those that are willing to talk. I am personally risking myself, along with all the others that you see on Facebook, on TikTok, on YouTube, telling the truth about what's really going on. Because people want to live in some fantasy world that nothing is fucking happening. Well, they're stupid. That is immature and irresponsible on their part. Especially if you are a Christian. If you read your Bible, then you would understand that the change is coming. Now, the time of the Antichrist is supposed to last a 3-year period, 42 months, 3.5 years actually. Soon after, that's when they say Jesus will arrive and come down with 10,000 angels, and his sackcloth will be covered in blood. It won't be the Jesus that everybody recognized at first, in the first days when he came here. He tried to warn us about the Matrix. He tried to warn us about the system of things. The sky and the firmament has been mentioned 11 times in the Bible. And then we stand on the pillar of 4 pillars, earth, on here on terra firma. So, folks, with that being said, take care. Wake up. Pay attention. Get your food and clothes and stuff ready. And whatever equipment you can, because you are the voice of freedom. Godspeed, folks. And please, awaken. It is time. Goodbye.